Even mollusks must be feared.
It's a plan that began with a clam. A few years back, Hugh Evans set out to create a short film that paid homage to cheesy 50s B-movies. The short, which was actually made as a trailer for a fictional film, received a lot of attention.
Man clams played all over North America and in Spain, I know, and other parts of Europe. And
yeah, there's a need. There's a desperate need for cheesy B movies,
cheesy,
and
yeah.
we're just filling that.
What is it?
We're doing our
the
best.
world needs more of is bad movies.
Evans didn't have to look far to find his collaborators on the project, as his sons Dylan and Douglas starred in the story of a man transformed into a clam. The final result convinced them they could make a full-length feature, and they set out to create Instruments of Evil. The project is nearing completion, but the trio admits they may have bitten off more than they can chew.
I didn't think a year and a half later I'd still be getting up every day and just like trying to get this done. Like, you gotta keep going.
Yep.
They acknowledge the film will be bad, but in a good way. They have been inspired by other filmmakers who have made their masterpieces on the cheap without studio support, recruiting friends to work on the project and happily giving product placement opportunities to sponsors.
You have to say, well, what would be a really elegant way to show that without spending $100 million?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, we'll go to the dollar store and get this and do it this way, you know?
It's all about simplifying and calling in favors, just having connections of knowing who can do what around town.
Instruments of Evil will be an anthology with 3 different stories and a wraparound plot that connects them.
There's just a lot going on in the movie. I think it's good for today's attention spans. I think it's going to be very good for them.
Yeah.
The last thing we want is people leaving the theater and say, oh, that was boring. But we may be cheap, but we're going to have enough silly gags to have a laugh or two at least.
Throughout the creative process, Hugh has split directing duties with Dylan, who will also handle the editing, and writing with Doug. As in any family business, there have been occasional disagreements.
It could be hard sometimes, but we always wanted to get the project done, and that's what matters.
We're on the level though too. We can, you know, we've been fighting for years, so we can fight even really good right now, you know.
Disagreements can even happen during interviews when discussing how the film will be distributed.
I guess the plan is we'd throw it online and just submit it to as many festivals as possible.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're putting it online?
I don't know.
We should have talked about this before the camera was on.
They do plan to make hard copies available, perhaps even on VHS as a tribute to 1980s horror movies. Not surprisingly, they aren't overly worried about box office receipts.
I mean, to me, it's a success whether nobody watches this or anything, because I've spent a year with my boys, having fun.
For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.